What's going on, my peeps? Today we are going to be taking a look back at the times that the 10 rings appeared in the MCU. After releasing my ShangChi review, my friend actually messaged me on Discord asking if I could make an MCU history on the 10 rings after he very recently found out about them being linked to Iron Man 3. He also asked if I think that the 10 rings were using the Extremist Project to try to create stronger warriors, but I think the answer is actually no on that, but I'll explain why later. Now, the 10 rings actually first appear back in the first MCU movie way back in Iron Man 1, but not the 10 rings themselves like the actual bracelets themselves, but more like the organization. They appear as a terrorist group in Afghanistan and make a deal with Tony Stark's right-hand man, Obadiah Stane, who was the CEO of Stark Industries at the time, and basically purchase weapons from them. Now, Obadiah actually hires the 10 rings to kill Tony while he's being transported, but they actually capture him instead and force him to build the weapon called the Jericho missile, so they don't actually have to purchase them from them anymore, but instead he builds the first Iron Man suit and then escapes the compound. Now, after Iron Man 1, they actually have a few minor appearances in a couple different titles. In Iron Man 2, Ivan Vanko meets up with a man from the 10 Rings organization, and he actually gets documents from him allowing him to leave his country and go find Tony Stark and confront him at the racetrack. Then, in the first Ant-Man film, you see Hydra is trying to acquire Pym particles as well as the Yellow Jacket suit. But they are accompanied by a man with the 10 Rings logo tattooed on his neck. I don't think that the 10 Rings member was undercover as a Hydra agent since his tattoo is less than subtle, so that just shows that the 10 Rings are willing to ally themselves with other sketchy organizations to reach their goals. And then, of course, it also has their larger role in the Iron Man 3 film. The main antagonist of this film is Aldrich Killian, who was experimenting with extremist technology to basically make super soldiers. Aldrich, I don't know, it's Killian. Now, unfortunately, some of the people experimented on didn't react well with the extremists, so they ended up blowing up. To offer a cover-up story, Killian actually hires an actor named Trevor Slattery to be the figurehead of the 10 Rings organization and basically take credit for the explosions, saying that they were intentional attacks. After Tony and Rhodey found out that the Mandarin is fake and Killian was actually the real villain, they kill Killian, ironic I know, and the Mandarin was sent to prison. I think I just accidentally said villain. Whatever, we're leaving it in. Then, during the 2014 short film named All Hail the King, Trevor Slattery gets interviewed by a filmmaker who turns out to be a 10 Rings agent and is there to break him out for the real Mandarin to then kill him for basically giving his 10 Ring organization a bad name. And finally, we get to Shang-Chi, where you learn the real origin of the 10 Rings and how the organization has grown to the power it has throughout the last 1,000 years. Now, to answer the question my friend asked at the beginning of the video, I don't believe that the 10 Rings had any interest in the extremist project Killian was experimenting with. Killian just adopted the name of the 10 Rings and gave the organization a face to cover up what he was actually doing. As far as I can remember, he had no knowledge of the actual 10 Rings organization or their leader, so he basically just used the title of an already known shady organization, since it would be easily believable that would target Tony since they were so closely tied to his origin of becoming Iron Man in the first Iron Man movie. But I could be wrong about that. Leave a comment down below and let me know if I've missed anything. Leave a sub to show some love, and have a marvelous day.